Hi, I can share with you an energy update for mid-October because there is a new wave that has arisen from the collective energy field that I'm sensing, and I want to share this with you. This is from the 15th of October approximately to the 31st, right? And what I told you at the beginning of the month, right? These explosive emotions that are in the field. Many of you have confirmed this, and I notice it in the circumstances around me, in people around me, in my own life, that these tendencies are there, right? That it is required of us that we catch us before we actually react emotionally to anything, before we enter the reactivity stage or state, so that we catch ourselves and that we see that it is actually not beneficial and not necessary to react in that way. It's much more beneficial to stay within the realms of the higher self and to deal with things from that perspective. Now, the second half now of this month, it actually is a similar topic, but it's connected to it, right? So what I have noticed, what I am noticing in my life, in the life, many lives around me, people around me who have these issues at the moment, and it's so present everywhere, is the feeling of overwhelm. And it's just too much. It feels like it is just too much. What's going on in people's personal lives, in people's maybe professional lives, as well as things around, like the bigger picture, right? It may feel like this is just too much. I have so much to do. I have so many tasks. I have so many roles to fulfill. There's so many things to think about. There's so many problems to solve. There are so many issues to take care of. I feel exhausted. I feel overwhelmed. And if this is you, hi, you're not alone. You're not alone. I witness this everywhere right now, and I'm experiencing something similar in my own life at this stage at the moment. So we're human beings. Well, we're souls, but as human beings in human form. And so it's totally okay to have these experiences from time to time. And if you're one of those people, one of those many people experiencing this right now, remember my words, you're not alone. It happens to a lot of us right now, but we're always in control of how we're going to handle it. So if this feeling and sensation of overwhelm comes up, acknowledge it, right? Okay, I feel overwhelmed. It's like this, that, and the other, and everything seems to be important, and I have no idea where to start, or I'm doing things all day long, and it's not getting me anywhere. And by the end of the day, my list has not shrunk at all. It is still this long, because with every task that I get over and done with, there's something else that I need to look after. There's something else that comes up. There's someone else who needs me. There's something else I need to fulfill. I need to sort. I need to look after. So whenever that sensation comes over you, relax. This means breathe. Okay? Because relax is like, yeah, great advice. How do I do that? Breathe. Inhale deeply. Exhale. Even sigh if it helps you, right? Breath is fantastic in dealing with, let's say, the sensation of overwhelm. And then move on to the level of your higher self. Okay? Your human self, your identity has these issues right now. All these thoughts, all these tasks, all these duties, all these expectations placed on it, right? You, your higher self, you as soul, you don't have those issues. You're fine. You're chilled. You're content. You're safe. You're joyful. You're peaceful. That's how you really are in your true state. Now, your human feels differently right now. So support your human through it. You support your human through it. And even by the separation, by you identifying more with your real self, with your true self, helping your little human, even by doing this mentally, not even so much feeling it, but even by doing it mentally as an exercise, because I realize that a lot of people have it as a concept. Yes, I know I'm more than my human self, but I can't feel it. I can't enter this realm of consciousness. I have it as a concept. If that's you right now, that's okay. Then use this concept, play with this, and use it to help your human through this, to process what is going on right now. Don't resist the feeling and sensation of overwhelm. Acknowledge it. Okay, this is how I feel. Because I feel I cannot do all this in this short amount of time. And then there will be things left over and I will feel even more under pressure because I haven't done everything I set out to do. Okay, this is how I feel right now. This is what it feels like for a human being to feel overwhelmed and under pressure. Okay, this is what it feels like. I'm going to deal with this, but in a calm way and in a sovereign way. Because that way, number one, I will get more done. I will get it done in a better way than just paddling and grabbling and working on it, because that way you have no higher perspective. You're stuck in the middle of it, and this is messy, and this is not going to produce your best solutions or results. So relax, which means breathe. Okay, I'm going to deal with what's most important right now. I may need to let a lot of things fall by the wayside and just drop it for a while. I will pick it up later when I have more energy. I will pick it up at some other stage when I feel more in the mood, more in the flow for it. Right now I need to focus on the most important things. What really needs to get done today? What is expected of me today? And even with the expectations, like the duties you might have during a day, what is it I can shorten? What is it I can remove for today? And how can I benefit from removing this and maybe placing it somewhere else, or not having to do it at all? Because in the end, I thought it's important, but it's not. So reevaluate. Focus on the most necessary things right now, acknowledging that you don't have that much energy right now. And so don't a lot of people. It's just not available at times. But you can choose how you deal with this. There's nothing wrong with it. It's totally okay to feel like this every now and then, okay? Tell yourself it's okay to feel this way. And instead of putting yourself down and putting yourself under more pressure because you think, but I set out to do this today because I didn't get it done all last week when I really had to get it done, and now it's the last and final day that I thought I would want to do it. Well, maybe you don't. Like one example is, yesterday, I wanted to do exactly this video, right? And I had set out a time where I was like, okay, this is the moment, this is the only time frame I have to do this. So I sorted my whole schedule to do it. And in the moment I got ready to film, I got a phone call where I was needed. So I had to leave the house. I had to look after something. And that took up my whole day then. Like from then on, there were other things I needed to take care of. So even though I felt like I want to get a video out to you guys, and especially this, because this is really, really important and this is the time to do it, I lived it instead. I lived an example of it. So I did exactly what I'm suggesting now. I said, okay, I really wanted to do this. I wanted to do a different one actually the days before, right? Which I did not get around to doing. That's life. And it's like, okay, no one is going to die if the video is not getting out on time. Now this is from my world. I'm just sharing this from my world now. Yes, it's not ideal, especially if there are topics that I feel should be brought forward. But hey, I'm also in a human life, and that's it. So the video gets done this morning, and I get to share the episode of yesterday, which is a real life example of I did that. I took a deep breath. I took care of whatever I had to take care of, right? I looked after things and stepped back from it completely. For a moment, I thought, okay, I'm going to do it then in the afternoon and maybe in the evening, but I dropped that at some stage. It was like, that is far too much pressure, and it will not be the energy that I want to put across, because I will possibly be tired. I will have dealt with so many other things throughout the day, and that's not what I want to bring into our conversation or our encounter. And so I decided it will have to be the next day. And so it is today, and I get to share this with you today. So don't be afraid to cut your duties and to just focus on what is important and what is necessary. And also give yourself credit for what you're doing already. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Whatever it is, even if you say, well, you know, I had a schedule, a plan of doing this project, getting this done, having this, or I even have a deadline for my taxes, for this, for that. Yes, then look at what is really important. Do that first. What is like, where is your attention needed, really, really needed today? What cannot wait? And all the other things, like do them. Let's say a project. Do it to the best of your abilities in that moment. And really use that phrase, done is better than perfect. Get it done, even if it's not, you know, to the high standard that you wanted it to be, or as perfect, you know, as you wanted it to be, or magical, or professional even. It's like, get it done with all the tools and all the circumstances that you find yourself in that moment, in that situation. And see this as, okay, version number 1. Still, use it. It's not like put it in the drawer. It's like, use it, work with this. But also realize, okay, this is the best version I can produce today, because I don't have that much energy, because I'm overwhelmed with things, because there's so much to do, and I want to get this done. And yes, if I had more time, if I had more resources, if I felt better, if I whatever, it would be much more brilliant. But I don't. So accept, I always say this, right? Accept where you're at right now, instead of placing yourself to a perfect place and saying, if I was in a perfect place, it would be exactly what I wanted it to be. Yes, true, but you're not in that perfect place. And this reminds me of this story of, I think I heard that in Ireland, where it's like somebody is in Limerick and is asking for directions to go to Dublin, let's say. And they're asking somebody, saying, well, how can I get to Dublin? And the person replies, well, if you were in Athlone, you would simply, and then he gives the directions, right? So it's like, I'm in Limerick, so I need the directions from Limerick to Dublin and not from Athlone to Dublin. So don't require of you to be in a different situation, different circumstances, at a different place to where you're at. You are at where you are at. So face it, you're in Limerick. Right? You're in Limerick. And you do what you can do to get from Limerick to where you want to get to. And if it means you have to take 10 stops in between because, you know, the train only runs to wherever, Kerry, then stops for a scenic tour. Okay, so there is a stop in Kerry, and then I might have to take a detour and go all the way up north, and then I might have to... Yes, it's okay. Use the circumstances that you have right now, because you will find your way from where you are to where you want to get. There is a way from Limerick to Dublin. You don't have to be in Athlone or in Kildare or in Drogheda. You will get there, because there is a way. And you find it in your own time. Okay? This is what I want to share with you. October energy update. And whenever it gets too much, breathe. Nothing is as important as we think it is. Let's not take life so seriously. That helps. I'm going to love you and leave you for today. And we'll talk again next time, if you want to.